Shelley. Number 10, Devon Kitchen Jr. Number 13, Marcos Estrada. And number 21, Jamigo Smith. Head coach, Aaron Taylor. And now the starting lineup for the home team, the Norsemen. Number 1, Zach Schweig. Number 2, Matthew Slowakowski. Number 3, Brandon Shrevnick. Number 5, Nick Gorenstein. And number 13, Jake Goldenberg. Head coach, Pat Gabriel. Let's play ball.
Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium for our fourth matchup of the day, featuring a Big North showdown between the Comets of Hackensack High School, 8-7 on the season, taking on the Demarest Norsemen, 11-3 on the year. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long. So glad that he could join myself, Dimitri Nanis, and Renee Matisic for this showdown here. Demarest, they know that they already are in the field of the Bergen County Jamboree Tournament. Now it is a case of win here today, they could justify being a top 8 seed and have a good seed in the bracket. For Hackensack, they are normally one of the darlings of Bergen County basketball. Perennial powerhouse team, one of the most acclaimed programs in Bergen County basketball history. They know that they desperately need a win here today to even qualify for the Jamboree. Hackensack's going to be in their road white, Demarest in their home black and blue, and we are underway here from East Gymnasium. First meeting since 2012 between these two teams. Hackensack won that last showdown 58-55 back in 2012. Hackensack is led by head coach Aaron Taylor. Pat Gabriel is the head coach of Demarest. Hackensack lost yesterday against Kennedy of Patterson, 54-51. Demarest comes in, a 3-game win streak on the season. The last win came against College Achieve Academy. One of Demarest's best teams in recent history, a team that we saw here a year ago. That nucleus has grown up and that experience has paid off. Good block there of the shot by Zach Schweid. Schweid, the leading scorer for this Demarest team, 16.7 points per game this season. Demarest running their offense here. Brandon Srebnick into the corner up top, Gorenstein. Handing it off now to Slowakowski. Turnaround shot, off balance, but it falls for Brandon Srebnick. Averages 13 points per game this season. That's 6.7 assists, 3 rebounds against College Achieve from Patterson in their last game. That game came on January 18th. Cutting across the middle of the lane and banking it home is Nasir Hudson. Hudson's first 2 points of the game, 2-2 the score. Nice pump fake going right to the rim, but leaving it short was Slowakowski, but the tip in inside is good. Jake Goldenberg with the follow-up. Hudson trying to go pick and roll, might have gotten away with an extra step. Back to Hudson, the junior, on the baseline, stripped away. Srebnick with the pilfer. Now tries to go coast to coast with it, and one. 4 quick points in this game for the senior, number 3, Brandon Srebnick. Forced the steal on one end, took it down the length of the floor the other side, the hoop and the harm, and a chance at a traditional 3-point play. And Srebnick unable to convert on the foul shot opportunity. 6-2 lead for Demarest. Give and go look that time by Estrada, didn't even have it cleanly. Hackensack gets the hoop and harm themselves. Damon Kinchin Jr. knocking in the mid-range shot in the paint. And that foul will go against Demarest. Foul will be whistled against Slowakowski, his first, team's first. Foul shot is left short there by Kinchin Jr. 6-4 lead for Demarest. Slowakowski handing off to Schweid. Schweid pulls up inside the foul line. And the silky smooth finish. The leading scorer for Demarest, averaging 16.7 points per game this season for Schweid. Coming off an 18-point performance in their last game. Long range three. That brings rain for Demir Shelley. That was good from college three-point range. Hackensack back to within one, and now a traveling call against Slowakowski. Lobbed in with the entry pass. Here's a corner three for Hackensack. Back-to-back triples now for the Comets. That time it was knocked in by Quadir May, who's just coming to the game off the bench. Another steal forced by Hackensack. Comets trying to go back and forth here down the floor. Another three knocked in by Quadir May. Instant offense off the Hackensack bench. And Hackensack is knocking them down from deep. That is their third three of the first quarter. And just like that, in one fell swoop, the Comets have soared their way out to a 5-point lead, 13-8 here in the first quarter of action. I'd like to thank all of our proud sponsors of our broadcast coverage of this Last Chance Showcase. The law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich and Fort Lee SC, as well as special thanks to our sponsors of this Last Chance Showcase. The Gyro Project, Anytime Fitness, Icon Recovery Center, Noble Fitness, Basecamp Fitness, Shoe Cosmetics, and the Vickers family. So after Demarest had taken an early lead of 4, Hackensack has come out blazing with their three-point shooting, including Quadir May. 2 for 2 off the bench. Another steal leads to transition hoop. Jamiko Smith with his first 2 points of the game. Demarest a little rattled here. Down by 7, 15-8, and a bump foul against the Comets. Second foul against Hackensack, as that foul will be charged against Quadir May. Hackensack has been showing off their depth in this game as well. Trying to get a lot of fresh legs all throughout so that they can continue their full court pressure. Schweid handing it off now to Matthew Lee, who's coming to the game for the first time for Demarest. Good recovery defense on the perimeter here for the Comets, making life very difficult. Srebnick got his legs taken out from underneath him, and that will send Srebnick back to the line where he's 0 for 1 in this first quarter. Srebnick with 4 of Demarest's 8 points in this quarter. As he rolls in that first foul shot, 5 points now. Horsemen are playing their best basketball of the season, coming into this one having won 7 of their last 8 games. Their only loss being a 10-point loss against Pascack Valley. Srebnick goes 1 of 2 at the line. How desperate is Hackensack going to be here today, trying to get that win that could give them a winning record? Maybe putting them in the minds of the committee to at least put them in the tournament field. A loss here today for Hackensack, and most likely they might be on the outside looking in. A team that is tied with Bergen Catholic and Don Bosco Prep for the second most amount of Jamboree championships in Bergen County history behind Teaneck. Straightaway three-shot, no good. Tracked down by Schweid. Schweid in the open floor, got his pocket picked from behind, but still stays with Demarest. Here's Lee. Outside, Brandon Elif has come into this game. And another push foul against Hackensack, and now the foul's starting to pile up against the Comets. That'll be their fourth team foul, so no more fouls to give with 3:20 left to go in the first quarter. Second personal foul against Shamiko Smith. And that's going to be a backcourt violation against Demarest, giving possession back over to Hackensack. Our fourth game of the day featuring Hackensack and Demarest here. We will conclude all the action of a long day of basketball in our fifth and final game after this one is concluded. Non-public showdown between Saddle River Day and Dwight Englewood. Step back three. No good this time for Hackensack. Rebounded inside by Marco DeCroce. Length of the floor, lay in there by Srebnick. 7 points in the quarter. Hackensack going down the other way. Fouled in the act of shooting was Damon Kinchin Jr., who has 2 points in this game. Hackensack wastes little time to get it down the length of the floor after that Demarest bucket. Demarest has been so good defensively this season, allowing only 47.5 points per game to opponents. So Hackensack knows that they want to attack in transition. They don't have to go against that standstill half-court defense. Kinchin Jr. knocking in the foul shot. He's 1 of 2 at the line in this game. Perfect trip to the line that time. He's got 4 points. Full court pressure. Almost led to the steal there for Hackensack, getting dirty on the floor, and a timeout taken by Demarest to make sure they retain possession after Nick Ornstein was diving on the floor to try to win that loose ball back. Under 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter, 17-11, Hackensack on top of Demarest. – 17-11, Hackensack in front. Demarest have the early lead. Brandon Srebnick, who's dribbling right now. He's the majority of the offense right now for Demarest. Poked away inside on the entry pass. In the blink of an eye, going down the other way. Hanging in the air was Demir Shelley, but he could not get the lay-in. Schweid bumped a bit. Finds Srebnick. Foul line jumper is good. 9 points for Brandon Srebnick. Demarest back to within 4, 17-13. Shelley getting the angle. Hackensack another look from 3. That time, Jordan McCoy missed. DeCroce doing a great job of the rebound inside. Schweid to DeCroce on the baseline. An offensive foul against the big man. A football player who has such size and strength inside, sometimes anytime he's going to get close to the basket, he is not going to get the benefit of any call. He's going to get offensive fouls whistled against him. Shelley, the senior, brings it past midcourt for Hackensack. Straightaway jumper. Might have been a foot on the line anyway for Hudson. wide in the open floor. Srebnick again pulls up just outside the foul line, and he shows off that consistent jumper. 11 points for Brandon Srebnick in this first quarter. He's keeping Demarest in this game. There's a long-range three, and after having a barrage of threes falling in bunches at one point in this first quarter, Hackensack is run cold here of late from deep. Two-point lead for Hackensack coming up on the final minute of the first quarter. Lee outlets it up top. Here's Srebnick. It's been the matchup nightmare. That three was off the mark from Gornstein. Goes out of bounds. It will be Hackensack possession with 44 seconds left to go in the first quarter. McCoy getting that one up to Hudson. Hackensack has gotten into a scoring run of late, but now saved on the long-range jumper by Nasir Hudson. .14 seconds left. Srebnick, no one stopping him, goes right to the rim. 13 points in this first quarter alone. McCoy running out of time. Hackensack's got to get it up. It's up in time, and it rolls in and out. And Hackensack will have to be content with a 2-point lead after the first quarter of action, 19-17 here from East Gymnasium. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of the second quarter of play here in the Last Chance Showdown. (19-17) lead for Hackensack. Demarest had the opportunity early on and had the lead early on in the first quarter. Hackensack took control after some hot shooting, going on a 9-0 run. Demarest has settled things down quite nicely and are now down by only 2. Brandon Srebnick has been outstanding for Demarest, 13 points in the first quarter alone. Here he is now to start off the second quarter. Pull-up jumper, gets fouled in the act of shooting. Got hit on the elbow, and he'll head back to the foul line. He is at his per-game scoring average right now. He averages 13.3 points per game. Nasir Hudson picked up the foul for Hackensack. That is his second in this first half. Srebnick 2 of 4 at the foul line. He's got 14. Srebnick trying to make this tie ball game here at 19 points apiece. And he does. 15 points in this first half. Got 15 of Demarest's 19. Hudson across the lane, try to drift it off and leave it off to his teammate Shelley, who vacated that spot. Another turnover for Hackensack, and here comes Demarest. A tie game, and now starting to shift momentum a little bit onto their side. Schweid playing a game of catch with Srebnick. Slowakowski open for three, knocks in the triple. Demarest back in front, 22-19. After Slowakowski knocks in the three ball. Hackensack struggling to find offense. That time the three was short by Quadir May, who was 2 for 2 from three off the bench. Srebnick again. His mid-range game is lethal. He has consistently been knocking in those shots. 17 points for Srebnick and a timeout taken by Hackensack after Demarest has gone on a propelled run and lead the Comets 24-19 here in this second quarter. Thanks again to all of our proud sponsors, as seen here on your screen. .646 remaining in our first half. Demarest has recaptured their lead 24-19. Brandon Srebnick, not only has he been aggressive in getting to the foul line, but he has shown off a beautiful jump shot. He is hitting here today. 17 points. Plenty of time still left in the first half, and a dump down low to Marcos Estrada. Estrada's first 2 points, and then he swats inside to Croce, and a foul is whistled late on the play underneath. So a foul is going against Hackensack. Looks like the foul against Estrada, even though it looked like he had timed it correctly. To Croce, benefits there on the first foul shot opportunity. Second foul shot, no good. 25-21 lead for Demarest. Offensive foul whistle against Hackensack, and if that's against Estrada, that is his second consecutive foul. But it is. So Marcos Estrada had no fouls committed in this first half until a couple of moments ago. Back-to-back quick fouls. 3 team fouls against the Comets as well. Not a recipe for success against a team in Demarest that can make some damage at the foul line as well. Srebnick gets around his defender, drives and dishes out into the corner. Slowakowski now giving it over. Srebnick hangs in the air. A lot of contact, no call. Offensive rebound comes out. Slowakowski takes the shot. A leaner inside, no good. An over-the-back foul against Demarest this time with 5:48 left to go in the second. That foul will go against Jake Goldenberg. Goldenberg's team's first foul of the second quarter. Quadir May remains the leading scorer for Hackensack in this game with the 6 points on the 2 made threes. Across the lane, good drive that time by Jamiko Smith. Second made basket of the game, 4 points for Smith. Srebnick could not lean that one home. Ball squirts free, Hackensack comes out of the pack with it. Comets trail by 2. In transition, pull-up jumper is good. Damon Kinchin Jr. now with 6 points in the half. Comets have gone on a 4-0 run, 25 all. 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. And is that a reach-in foul against Hackensack already? That is the 4th team foul against the Comets. Fouls are piling up here. Quadir May picking up his second personal foul. He'll take a seat. 4 team fouls. Hackensack with no longer any fouls to give for the remainder of this first half. Foul shots the rest of the way on any resulting foul in favor of Demarest. Lee, extra pass, Srebnick for three. Good box out down low. Zana Nagisi coming into the game, number 15 for Hackensack. Big body on the floor. Inside, there's going to be the kiss-in layup by Kinchin Jr. Back-to-back buckets for number 10 in White. He's got 8, and Hackensack has recaptured the lead at 27-25. Inside, missed layup there by Goldenberg. And it will be a foul against Demarest coming up with 4:24 left to go in the first half. Goldenberg picking up the foul, his second for Demarest after he missed the lay-in attempt on the left side of the rim. Both teams trading the lead here in the second quarter. A reach-in foul is now it's starting to become a foul fest between both teams. That foul went against Zach Schweid. For Schweid, that is foul number 1, team foul number 3. Smith outletting it to Shelley. Dornstein extending the defense for Demarest. Shelley calls for the pick from Kinchin Jr. Shake and bake move, top of the arc, no good. Great box out down low by Srebnick behind the play. Schweid, Euro stepping, stripped on his way up, stolen away by Hackensack. Here come the Comets in the open floor. Open three in transition, straight away, no good by McCoy. Rebounded by Schweid. Here comes Demarest down the other way. Schweid, nice move, layup is good. Schweid with 4 points in the first half, 27-27. Schweid down on the floor behind the play. Hackensack uses that to their advantage. Missed on the mid-range jumper, though, inside the paint. Srebnick with a rebound. Srebnick pushing it down the other way. Up and under move, no good. DeCroce inside. There's the whistle. As the Demarest big man getting paid off after that hustle in the offensive boards, he'll head to the foul line and shoot a pair with 3:09 left to go here in the first half of play. Nagasi getting called for the foul, his first, team's 5th. And DeCroce knocks in the foul shot. He's 2 of 3 at the line. Srebnick getting a rare breather now on the Demarest bench, getting some well-earned water. Croce showing off the nice touch at the line. Got 3 here off the bench. Demarest back in front, 29-27. Worked around the perimeter now to Kinchin Jr. Hudson. Fastball pass down underneath the rim. No chance to get a shot off cleanly. DeCroce, great job of just staying vertical down underneath the rim. Here comes Demarest in the open floor. Give and go on the back door. Extra pass to DeCroce. Off the assist there, Schweid. Demarest unselfish basketball. Defense leading to offense the other way. 31-27. Again, Hackensack desperately needs this game. They need a win to possibly get into the tournament field. There's a much-needed 3 from the outside from Jordan McCoy. The junior dials up his first triple of the game. Cross-court look to Croce up top. Slowakowski, good ball movement. Schweid on the baseline. Lost the handle. Went out of bounds. Will stay with Demarest. 1:57 left to go in the second quarter. Demarest leading Hackensack 31-30. Horsemen trying to make it 8 wins in their last 9 games and go to 12-3 on the season. That would definitely would give them a top 8 seed in the upcoming tournament. And there's a 3 right off the inbound. Nick Gornstein cancels the Hackensack triple with one of his own. Back to a 4-point advantage for the Norsemen. Shelley handing it off to McCoy. Penetrating, driving, kicking out. Here's McCoy again looking for a three. This time no good, right in front of us. Great box out by DeCroce. As Degussy was draped all over his back trying to get that offensive rebound. That'll be the second personal foul against the backup center. DeCroce, who has made his impact felt loud and clear in this game so far. 5 points for the junior big man. And again, just consistently brilliant here at the foul line. He's knocked in 3 in a row. He's 4 for 5 at the line in this first half. 1:28 left to go in the second quarter. Croce almost automatic at this point. 7 points, and he gets a round of applause. He'll get the breather here. 1:24 left to go in the second quarter. Demarest has turned a 2-point deficit at the end of the first quarter into a 6-point lead here in the second. Another quick fire there from McCoy, no good. And a foul staying here against Demarest. Slowakowski getting called for the personal foul. That is his second, team's fourth. No more fouls to give now for Demarest, as Slowakowski will have to take a seat. Another 3-point offering for Hackensack. Fight for the loose ball underneath the rim. Turnaround shot in the act of shooting was McCoy. That'll send Hackensack to the foul line and try to pull a little closer here just before halftime, as their prowess on the offensive glass is starting to get them a little closer. First foul shot attempt was no good there for McCoy. Foul went against Brandon Srebnick, his first, team's fifth. No more fouls to give for Demarest, and DeCroce comes back into the game after a brief time off. And that time, it's going to be last touch off of McCoy, who was trying to chase down his own miss from the foul line. Missed opportunity there for the Comets. 36-30. Demarest in front. Srebnick breaks through the defense, goes all the way coast to coast for the lay-in. 19 points in this first half from Brandon Srebnick. Largest lead of the game now for Demarest. Norsemen showing they are for real right now in this matchup against the traditional blue blood in Bergen County basketball in Hackensack. 1 minute remaining here in the second quarter. Now a whistle from the official, I think, trying to run down some clock. So the clock wasn't running at 1 point, so they put the time at 50.1 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Hackensack scored 19 points in the first quarter. Only put up 11 points so far here in the second. The Demarest defense has gotten to them. Dropping it down low, underneath inside the post. Hudson kick it out. Here's McCoy for three, no good. And a foul whistled against Hackensack will send it the other way for Demarest. Hackensack connected on 3 threes in the first quarter. They have only hit on 1 3-point attempt in this second quarter. And now Zach Schweid trying to widen this lead here for Demarest. Could push it to double digits just before the break. Schweid is good at the foul line. 5 points in the half. Second foul shot also good. 6 points now for Schweid. 40-30 lead for Demarest on top of Hackensack here. They have outscored the Comets by 12 points in this second quarter. Joaquin Morris onto the floor for the first time for Coach Aaron Taylor's Comets. Tough take to the rim. Ball was left behind. The Comets trying to respond. No-look pass led to a turnover. Down the other way, Demarest looking for a big bucket here just before halftime. Schweid shot just left short. He fouls his own miss. Goes up and in and one. That is emblematic of this entire first half, as Demarest just been doing the little things that have led to winning plays. 42-30 lead. Now here for Schweid and Demarest. Schweid up to 8 points. And he finishes off the three-point play with the foul shot. A half-court heave to beat the buzzer, and Demarest was once down by 2 after 1. They outscore Hackensack in that second quarter by 15 points to take a 43-30 lead at halftime here at East Gymnasium. Stick around, fans, as we'll be back for the start of the second half of play, as you're watching all the coverage of this game as part of this last chance showcase here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium as we're moments away for the resumption of play in the start of the second half, with Demarest on top of Hackensack by a score of 43-30. Hackensack led 19-17 after the first quarter of play, and then proceeded to outscore Hackensack 26-11 in that second quarter. The Norsemen made life very difficult for the Hackensack offense, and the offense for the Norsemen came alive in that second quarter. 26-point performance. Getting done at the foul line as well. Demarest 11 of 14 at the foul line, while Hackensack is 2 of 5. Hackensack has even knocked in more threes than Demarest in this game, 4-2. But still, Demarest with a ferocious second quarter to get back in front. Leading scores for both teams. At the break for Hackensack, they're led by Damon Kinchin Jr., who's got 8 points to lead the Comets offense. Demarest is led by Brandon Srebnick's 19 points. Put up 13 points in the first quarter alone. He's continued his aggressive start to this game. Zach Schweid with 9 points, second leading scorer in this game for the Norsemen. Demarest trying to go to 12-3 on the season. A win would absolutely guarantee that they would be a top 8 seed in the upcoming 2024 Bergen County Jamboree Tournament. And for Hackensack, you're leaving a lot to chance here. If you lose this game, you would have lost 4 of your last 5 games and be 8-8 on the season. I don't know if that would garner them a spot necessarily in the tournament field. But a win here would go a long way for the Comets for their postseason chances. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by our producer, Dimitri Nanis, and our camera operator, Renee Matisich. Thanks for joining us. This is the 4th of 5 games to be played here today from Fort Lee's East Gymnasium as part of this Last Chance Showcase. Last chance for teams to add to their tournament resumes before the field has been set tomorrow. Hackensack, the road team, in the white. In the black and blue, the home team is Demarest. Demir Shelley getting it back from Nasir Hudson. Opening possession of the second half. Hackensack taking their time patiently. They've struggled to find those open shots. Little hesitation there, give and go, and it leads to an eventual turnover. As Lewikowski tried to split the double team and racing out the other way. Foul against Hackensack's number 2, Demir Shelley. His first, team's first. Hackensack has been fouling at a big clip so far in this game. That's been part of their problem. That 3 ball rattled in and out by Gornstein. Also play right in front of our broadcast vantage point in the lower left-hand corner of East Gym. Possession will stay here with the Norsemen. Again, first meeting since 2012 between these two high schools in Bergen County. There's a steal off the inbound by Shelley. Shelley gets bumped on the play by Schweid. Schweid will pick up the foul. That should be his second personal foul. Team's first of the third quarter. Hackensack plays in the very competitive Big North Freedom Division. A who's who of public schools: Ramapo, Ridgewood, Northern Highlands, Hackensack, and we saw Paramus earlier here today. Demarest on top of the Big North National Division. There's a long-range 3. That's drained that time by Demir Shelley. Shelley with the first 3 of the second half for Hackensack. Demarest answers with a 3 of their own here from Nick Gorenstein. His second 3 of the game, he's got 6. Step in, contested jumper, no good by Hudson, but a put back inside by Estrada. Estrada's got 4 points. He picked up 2 quick fouls that led to his time sitting down in that first half. Lean-in shot that time. Srebnick gets fouled, and he's got all sorts of gauze up his nose. He's been banged up, bleeding in this game, but not phased at all as he heads back to the foul line with a chance to get to the 20-point plateau. Demarest tied with Teaneck for the lead in the Big North National Division. Demarest knocked off Teaneck earlier this season, 72-69 at home back on January 2nd. Teaneck was the team, the arch rival of Hackensack, that beat the Comets by 2 to begin the season. So Srebnick goes 2 for 2 at that foul trip. 21-point performance there for Srebnick. Hackensack lays it in inside. Good dish inside to Kinchin Jr. He's up to 10 points. The Comets cannot afford to trade buckets here. Still with an eternity of time left. 5.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Schweid across the lane. A little too unselfish that time, trying to drop it off for his teammate underneath the rim, and he's upset with himself too. He had the separation, and that was going to be a mid-range opportunity for a great shooter in Schweid. 48-37. Deficit facing Hackensack. Lob attempt to no one waiting on the other side. Hudson, rather than just going straight up with it, kind of doing exactly what his number one counterpart, Zach Schweid, did on the previous possession for Demarest. Too unselfish. Schweid across the lane. Srebnick operating top of the key. Inside the lane, gets it, blocked away by Estrada. Here goes Hackensack in the open floor. Defense leads the offense in the blink of an eye there for the Comets. And a timeout's going to be taken on the floor as well for Hackensack. That was Jamiko Smith in the open floor after the rejection by Estrada. 48-39, 30-second timeout taken by Coach Aaron Taylor in Hackensack to try to set things up on his defense. Comets said endured a 3-game losing streak December 29th through January 4th. They had a tough stretch of games, to say the least. They had to take on Payne Tech, Northern Highlands, and Ridgewood before they got healthy again with 3 straight wins against Passaic Tech, Paramus, and Saddle River Day. We will be seeing in our next game, Saddle River Day, taking on Dwight Englewood. But then since that win against Saddle River Day, Hackensack lost games against Patterson Charter, Ramapo, and bounced back with a win against Eastside, but then lost to Kennedy in the last time out. Demarest just trying to keep it rolling. Again, they have won 7 out of their last 8. Demarest gets it to Schweid up top. Gorenstein, who's had the outside touch. Schweid dribbling through the host of defenders, pulls up from 15, no good. Rebound underneath by Kinchin Jr. That's Hackensack making the defensive stop. Smith losing his footing. Gorenstein, nice behind the back dribble. Little contact, and still he gets it to go. Nick Gorenstein showing off the handle and the shooting touch. 50-39 lead for Demarest. Dazzling highlight reel finish there for Gorenstein, who's had 5 points in the third quarter. Strong move underneath the rim for the lay-in that time by Kinchin Jr. He's got 12. Smolkowski, Gorenstein right in front of us, drains it again, and hands over another three-point dagger. 3 threes in this game for Nick Gorenstein, 2 of which have come in this third quarter alone. He's been the one-man show here for Demarest in the third. Up to 8 points in the third quarter alone for number 5 in black. Weaving their way through, Estrada through the contact, lays it in. Good offense for both teams. 53-43. Can Hackensack get it done on this side of the floor? Schweid. Smolkowski getting it back to his point guard. Slokowski, elbow extended. Across the lane, Ornstein couldn't get that one to drop. Srebnick on the offensive boards, cleans it up inside. 23 points now for Brandon Srebnick. Hackensack trying to push the pace down the floor quickly. Last touch out of bounds off of Demarest, so will stay with the Comets. 2:25 left to go in the third quarter. Changes being made from both teams. Marco DeCroce comes back into the game along with Matthew Lee for Demarest. Hackensack has been struggling mightily defensively in this game. There's a corner three, no good. Good box out there by Srebnick. 23 points for number 3 in black and blue here tonight. DeCroce down low, blocked. Good timing underneath the hoop by Kinchin Jr. 2 minutes left to go in the third. Schweid inside, pulls up, mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound inside by Hudson. Hudson clears the glass, gets it down to Shelley. Trailer three ball. Hackensack can't buy a bucket here. They have just not been able to knock in three-point shots with regularity in this contest. And they've been unleashing a ton of them as well. They've not been deciding to change their forte and go more to the rim. That's a block shot out of bounds by Kinchin. Hackensack has knocked in 1-3 in this third quarter. 5 total for the game, but again, not a good success rate of their three-point shot opportunities. 1:29 left to go in the third quarter. Worked around up top. Wide with 9 points in the game. Getting it over to Matthew Lee, the senior. Demarest being patient here, closing in on the final minute of the third. Coach Gabriel telling his team no rush here. Look for the best shot opportunity. But then they throw the pass away. Shelley intercepts that pass in midair. He got it stripped out of his hands, but it's going to be last touch out of bounds off of Demarest. .56 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And that's going to be an offensive foul against Hackensack with Schweid hitting the deck. Foul went against Demir Shelley, his second, team's third. 52.6 seconds left to go. Demarest led by 13 at halftime. Lead by 12 right now here. Srebnick watched by Quadir May. Schweid with the ball handling right now. Under 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Jamiko Smith trying to shadow all over him, trying to get a 5 count. Schweid dribbling around him, losing the handle out of bounds. No on the play. Still will be possession staying on this end of the floor with Demarest. 15.8 seconds left to go. Up top it goes to Srebnick. Watched by Shelley. 10 seconds left to go in the quarter. And an offensive foul, moving screen against Demarest. Is that going to be a foul against Goldenberg, number 13? And it is. It's his third personal foul. 6.5 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 55-43. Hackensack trying to pull a little closer here just before the end of the third. Smith. And another foul and a blocking foul against Lee for Demarest. That is only their third team foul, so no opportunity for foul shots. Good foul, all things considered, with 2.5 seconds left to go. For Lee, that is his second personal. Last-ditch effort here for Hackensack. They inbounded to Shelley, gets it up top to Smith. Straightaway three, off the back iron, no good. And that'll end the third quarter of action with Demarest on top of Hackensack by a score of 55-43 after 3 quarters of action. Stick around, fans, as we'll be back for the start of the fourth quarter of play as you're watching the Last Chance Showcase here from Fort Lee High School. Welcome back to Fort Lee for the start of the fourth quarter. Demarest in control against Hackensack, 55-43. Demarest trying to make it a 12-3 start to the season with a win here today. Hackensack trying to avoid falling to 8-8 with the defeat. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, and Renee Matisic, thanks for joining us on our exclusive broadcast coverage of this 5-game event here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. A steal by Hackensack, going right to the rim, missing on the layup attempt. But the putback attempt is also awry, but it's because Estrada was fouled. Two-shot foul. Marcos Estrada, 6 points in this game for the Comets. Estrada knocks in the first foul shot attempt. 7 points for the sophomore. Schweid picked up the foul. That is his third personal, team's first. Estrada, nice form there at the line. He's got 8. (55-45). Croce does a great job of just holding on to that pass. Schweid on the baseline, thought about the initial jumper, passed it up instead. Schweid on the near side. Demarest trying to play a little patient offense here. Lewikowski. Srebnick spins inside, fadeaway jumper. It's been his type of afternoon. 25 points as Brandon Srebnick has been showing off all of his jump shooting prowess here today. Really impressed with his consistency from his mid-range game. 57-45. That was a big possession to start off this fourth quarter for Demarest. Shelley sets and fires from deep, no good. Box out inside, Srebnick with the board. Again, we will have 1 game left after this one. Saddle River Day taking on Dwight Englewood. That's coming up after this one is in the books. Turnover forced by Hackensack, going down the other way. In transition, leaving with the Euro finish was Hudson. He missed on the first attempt, but cleans up the boards. 6 points now for Hudson. Srebnick, start and stop, shows the ball. Schweid wide open for 3. No good. Sailing for the rebound is Smith. Down the other way, Shelley swings it all the way out. Deep 3. No good by Hudson. Croce couldn't get the clean rebound. And then the subsequent foul whistled against Demarest. And Hackensack crashing the offensive boards, trying to use that to their advantage to stay within striking distance here in the fourth quarter. Gorenstein gets called for the foul, his first, team's second. Jamiko Smith is getting ready to get the basketball to take these foul shots. Smith missing on the first foul shot opportunity. He's got 6 points in this game. Comets have a demanding slate of games upcoming on their schedule too, with contests against Northern Highlands, Ridgewood, and Linden on the horizon. Goes 1 of 2 at the line as Smith. He's got 7 in the game. 57-48. Gorenstein again for 3. No good. Tipped around. Loose ball taken in by Hackensack. Here come the Comets in the open floor. Estrada's pass was deflected away and turned over. Coach Taylor upset about that one, feeling that there was a momentum change about to happen if his team could score 2 there. Slowakowski getting it. A handoff now. Srebnick inside, contorts the body, leans in for the finish. 27 points. Back to a double-digit advantage, 59-48. Worked around. Here's a 3 by Smith. Smith gets contacted as well as he was unleashing the 3. So that'll be a 3-shot foul, and importantly as well for Hackensack, that stops the clock. Schweid got called for the foul. That is his 4th personal. 3-shot opportunity now for Jamiko Smith, who was 1 of 2 at the line just moments ago. And he misses on the first foul shot. Smith misfiring on the second foul shot opportunity as well. He's 1 of 4 at the line in this game. 3 team fouls against Demarest here to begin the 4th quarter. No fouls committed by Hackensack. And he goes 1 of 3 at the foul line there. 8 points now for Smith. Back to a 10-point margin, 59-49. That pass off the mark, out of bounds. It's going to be a reach-in foul against Demarest, and now the foul's starting to mount up for the Norsemen. They have no longer any fouls to give in the rest of this 4th quarter. Ornstein gets called for the foul, his 2nd, team's 4th. Foul shots the rest of the game for Hackensack, so if you're the Comets, you have to think about continually being aggressive here and getting to the line, trying to claw your way back with the time stopped. What a spin move inside. Beautiful finish with the left hand by Jamiko Smith. 10 points for Smith, 59-51. Schweid getting it down low. Goldenberg inside. 4 points for Jake Goldenberg. 61-51, 10-point margin. Smith left the ball behind. Touched out of bounds last by Demarest, so possession will stay with Hackensack. Still the Comets trail by 10, 61-51. Past the midway point of the 4th quarter, 3:55 remaining. Pull-up jumper from about 16 feet out by Demir Shelley. Shelley's up to 8 points in the game for Hackensack. Back to an 8-point game, 61-53. Demarest has always had an answer when they've been pushed here by Hackensack in the second half. Srebnick has always had that ability throughout the game to get past his initial defender. Good ball movement, lead to the mid-range jumper. Beautiful execution and finish by Gorenstein. 13 points for Nick Gorenstein, the junior. He had 3 points at halftime. He scored 10 in the second half. 63-53. Worked around down the lane. Up top to Shelley. Shelley fires from deep off the mark. Loose ball rebound underneath by Estrada, as that's going to be a foul underneath against Demarest, as that'll lead to an opportunity now at the foul line for Hackensack to push a little closer here with 3:05 left to go in the fourth quarter. Estrada will head to the line after that foul was whistled against Slowakowski, his third. Estrada rolls that one in. He's perfect 3 for 3 at the foul line in this game. 9 points now for Estrada. And a violation against Hackensack as Quadir May was entering in when his teammate was about to shoot the second foul shot. That is a mental miscue that you just can't afford to have if you're the Comets. 63-54, and now a foul is going to be whistled against Hackensack. That is the first foul committed by Hackensack here in this fourth quarter. For May, that is foul number 3. Under 3 minutes left to go. If you're Hackensack, you don't have to necessarily foul away here. Still play man-to-man defense and try to force the turnovers. Gorenstein across the lane. And that is going to be a bump foul underneath against Hackensack after number 5, Nick Gorenstein, was bumped on the play. That foul went against Quadir May, and back-to-back fouls against May now gives him 4 on the game. Is this another foul against Hackensack? Nasir Hudson picking up the foul. That is his 4th. Inside, running shot by Srebnick, no good. Loose ball taken in by Hudson. Hudson breaking out of the pack with it the other way, coast to coast, missed the lay-in. Shelley looking for the loose ball rebound, kicks it out. Smith pulls up from 15 and gets it. Jamiko Smith has come alive here in the fourth quarter. He has scored 6 points in the fourth quarter alone. And Hackensack making it a game here, 63-56. This is the closest that they've been in quite some time, with 2:28 left to go in regulation. Again, we'd like to thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgman Athletics, law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC, as well as special thanks to all of our presenting sponsors of this Last Chance Showcase, the Gyro Project, Prospect Capital Restaurants, Jersey Mike's Subs, Anytime Fitness, Basecamp Fitness, Noble Fitness, Shoe Cosmetics, the Vickers family, and Icon Recovery Center. Is there one final push in Hackensack in this game, or does Demarest have the finishing touches that can get them across the finish line here and give them in the process their 8th win in their last 9 games? .220 left to go in regulation. Hackensack with only one more foul to give. Demarest already has gotten over their allotted limit. Foul shots the rest of the way for Hackensack. Srebnick dribbling with 27 points in this game. Here he is now, double teamed. Gauze in his nostril. Looks for an outlet. Just gets it over in time to Croce underneath. Looked like he was going to be blocked at the rim. Good sportsmanship shown by him to help the man who fouled him up and off the floor. And Marco De Croce, who has 7 points, that is 5 of 6 at the foul line in this game, will head back to the charity stripe with the clock stopped with 1:57 left to go in regulation. Miko Smith was called for the foul, and now is there a technical foul that's been issued against Hackensack? It will be a technical foul teed up against head coach Aaron Taylor. Croce missing on the first foul shot. So a lot of foul shots upcoming here for Demarest. Croce missing on a pair. He had hit 4 foul shots in a row. Now Srebnick will step up to take the technical foul shots. Srebnick missing. So Demarest has missed on 3 consecutive at the line to try to give them a little breathing room. Srebnick rattles that one home. 28 points in this game now for the senior. 64-56. Demarest on top of Hackensack. Again, because of a 26-11 advantage in the second quarter, Demarest has been in the lead for the majority of this game. This man, Srebnick, has been outstanding, to say the least, for the Norsemen. Schweid will have a timeout called for by his coach, Pat Gabriel. Trying to set things up in the final 1:39 left to go. Again, fans, a reminder that you could stay with us for our 5th and final game of the day here from East Gymnasium. Saddle River Day taking on Dwight Englewood. That's going to be coming up next in our 5th and final game of this last chance showcase. 2 non-public teams. Independent now, but also from the NJIC. Dwight Englewood participating in the non-public A in the North region, while Saddle River Day would be representing non-public B in the North. So a big game upcoming for them as well. And the question is going to be, what happens to the fate of Hackensack after this one? If this game ends the way that it's looking like it will be, as Demarest comes out on top, will Hackensack, 8-8 on the season, have enough to punch their ticket to a spot in the tournament field of the Bergen County Jamboree? Members of the committee have been in attendance here today. Pass into the backcourt to Srebnick. Coming up on the final 90 seconds of regulation. Good times continuing here for this Demarest team. They are for real, fans. Double team coming to Schweid. Schweid is tied up. Jump ball situation, and that's going to give possession back over to Hackensack. Well, Hackensack still staying alive thanks to their defense. They got to knock down some outside shots now. Try to make this one interesting. Another whistle here as I think they're having a chance again to inbound it. We're slowly making our way to the finish line of this one. Hudson giving it over to Smith. Smith with a runner on the glass, and they're going to say offensive foul against Smith. Take the basket off the board. 4th personal foul against Jamiko Smith. Demarest got over in time. Smith is coming off the floor as that is 5th personal foul. Right now on the scoreboard it's saying 4. Might have fouled out of this game. Nonetheless, we venture on, coming up on the final minute of action. Srebnick getting it past the timeline to Schweid. Demarest a season ago played in this last chance showcase. Lost here at Fort Lee to Ridgewood 63-48. Whole new season here for the Norsemen. They're going to be a top 8 seed when the tournament gets seeded tomorrow. Look at this ball movement. Look at this unselfishness. The high IQ of this veteran side. Croce also had an opportunity to go up for it. Time is more valuable to the Norsemen. And the winning ways will continue for Demarest. Make it 8 out of their last 9. They will improve to 12-3 on the season and finally be tugged down for a foul here by Nasir Hudson. As Srebnick will be heading to the foul line with 12.8 seconds left to go, and Srebnick with a chance to make it a 30-point performance if he hits both foul shots. He was out and running in full force in the first quarter when he scored 13 points. He is now up to 28 points here this afternoon. Seven of 10 at the foul line as well. Missed on that foul shot, so he might have to settle for 29 here tonight. Hackensack trying to go coast to coast. They'll leave the layup short. Demarest will dribble it out. 65-56. Northern Valley Demarest with an emphatic victory to go to 12-3 on the season. Hackensack with the defeat will fall to 8-7. So that'll do it for our broadcast coverage of game number 4 of this last chance showcase. Stick around, fans. On a separate broadcast link, we'll have you covered for our 5th and final game of the day here from East Gymnasium. Saddle River Day taking on Dwight Englewood. That's coming up next here on our broadcast airwaves. So for Dimitri Nandis and Renee Matisich, I'm Dan Long saying so long here from Fort Lee. And thanks for watching coverage here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Take care, everybody.